describing differences between a masculine and a feminine woman. Feminine women are useful. A masculine woman you're kind of in competition with.
I'm a single mom and I have to be strong for my son, right? I also have to provide for my son and discipline with my son. That's when I know that I need to use my masculine energy. So it's just an energy. However, in the relationship, I prefer to be on my feminine side. However, if the need arises, for example, my partner got sick or he's not able to lead the family, then I have to step up. I have to use my masculine energy. It's more of like a balance for me. But at the end of the day, what I'm just saying is that I see men as the leader of the house. I respect men. However, he has to be a good man. I'm not talking about drunkard men or, men that are using drugs and all. I'm talking about a good man.
We have very different views. When we think about masculine and feminine, why are women in their masculine? Because both of them exist. Women have masculine and feminine. Well, apparently, if males are not being masculine, who's going to do the job?
Yes.
If you come down to a woman is in the masculine, well, okay, cool. We can talk about how many of them are sex driven and they only are good for procreation or sexual interaction, but very many of them are not leading communities or people. We had a plethora of Black leaders that were males. Where are they now? So when it comes down to people throwing fits because, you make me emasculated or you make me feel emasculated. I'm not competing when I say I have a partner. I'm having an exchange that balances us because I don't want to be in my masculine and I don't want to just be in my feminine. Just like I don't want you to be all the way masculine and disconnected from your feminine because guess what? You need to have both to interact with people. You can't just have masculine and feminine and total. No, that's why you have men that are not in leadership roles, not leading communities because guess what? There's too much pressure to do so with little support. And so when we come into these conversations of having a female support a male to be more, to be more of themselves, they have to actually want it. They have to actually want to be the leaders. And you got a lot of men that don't want to. So when they're having to deal with a masculine woman who's actually challenging them to actually be the masculine, what do? They insult them. They tell them, no, I don't want to compete with you.
Do you really think that's the best way to make your man a leader is to enter your masculine? Is that the only thing you can do by default?
That is absolutely not what I said.
Well, hold on. What you said was if your man's not in his masculine and he's not leading, you're going to step up. Now, a lot of women have chose is that if their man's not in the masculine, by default, that means they have to step up. And that's not what it is. You don't need to step up. You don't need to be in your masculine. You can still be in your feminine and inspire and motivate that man to enter his masculine.
You can't do both. You can't inspire someone and tell them to be their better selves and literally also be a feminine because you're letting them lead.
That's what being feminine is. Feminine is being inspirational.
The likes of those that believe the roles in relationships literally are saying that when it comes down to a relationship, a woman should always be in a feminine because the masculine female is tiresome, exhausting, and draining. Why does she have to be that way? Why does a female have to be in her masculine? Because there's no masculines. There's no masculine.
You still chose to be masculine when there was another option for you.
Masculine equates to leadership. Femininity equates to submission, right? So if there is no masculine person in role and I stay in my submission, who's actually leading the ship? Who's actually the captain of the ship that's actually gonna make sure that we get to shore? There is nobody.
You either leave that man and find the masculine leader that you should be with, but you should not by default become masculine.